Hi, everyone. We are kicking off a Smoke Long Summer 2024, which is the third summer we've done this. We are revving up our writing day, and this year we're writing 3 tasks a week. We have a virtual book fair that will go live later today. We have 25 publishers participating and over 100 Flash and Flash adjacent books at discounts for the people participating in a Smoke Long Summer. And if you're a previous contributor of Smoke Long, you can participate in the book fair at no charge. Okay, I've got a frog in my throat this morning, so I'll be coughing all the time. We're going to kick this off by listening to some of the finalists and winners of the competitions last year. So a Smoke Long Summer is also a competition, which, you know, it's a friendly competition, but the 2 winners receive $500 each. And it's only open to participants of a Smoke Long Summer. So your chances of winning this competition are much higher than some other competitions, and the winnings are bigger. And so we love to celebrate our participants. So one way to do it is to have competitions. I love a competition. And so that's why I'm always, let's have a competition. So these are some of the people who did well in the competition last year. This is such important information because this is telling you what we liked. So go for something like this in this year. So without, as they say, further ado, our first reader is Glenn Orges. Glenn is a writer from Sydney. His memoir, Man in a Gray Suit, Biking, 2012, is about surfing, shark attack, and survival. His fiction can be found at McSweeney's, Internet Tendency, X-Ray, Smoke Long Quarterly, and Meeting House, forthcoming. He tweets at Glenn Orges. That's spelled Orgias. Hi, Glenn.
Christopher, how are you? Hi, everyone.
I'm fine. Now, I know what you're going to read today. You're going to read Free Fallin', right?
That's right.
About young love, old love. I
Young
can't
love.
wait to hear it. Yeah, I can't wait to hear it again. Go for it.
Thanks. So this is Free Falling. We were more alive at that party than we'd ever been. We were so young that everyone's 3 a.m. felt like our 9 p.m., except for these 2 middle-aged guys, like over 30, who were playing a Tom Petty song on repeat and singing along deliriously while holding each other. When we left the party, I was so drunk I drove through a roundabout the wrong way. I didn't hit anything because in our rural hellscape, there was only wind on the roads and those of us planning to elope. It was my mother's car, so lucky I didn't fuck it up. It would have been another reason for people to say we were young and stupid and not right for each other, and why we should learn to be like everyone else and get jobs at McDonald's on the freeway. The car radio played Smells Like Teen Spirit, our kind of music. We parked under an overpass surrounded by dark paddocks and a hint of cows stirring the clumpy grasses out there. And there was a sense of time coming at us like a slingshot band. The radio played Under the Bridge, and we took off our clothes and started fucking. We did it through the song and into the moment of silence after the song. And then we heard it. We were fucking, but we stopped. Is this? The song that came on was the Tom Petty song. The song, we said. We thought the song was too pretty, had too much syrup, like the summer of '69 on Heat. But we sang the chorus anyway, holding on to each other in a pantomime of middle-aged love. And the song became our song, even though we hadn't meant it to. It just glued to us. and we became a thing with more in it than two people, because there was a song now too. Our love had collected its first ornament. We're the same as those guys, we said, in love and drunk, singing off tune at 3 a.m. at the top of our lungs. That was how little we knew about love. We thought our love would endure. It wasn't our fault we thought that. We'd only had one love, this first one, the one before heartbreak taints the ones after, the one where you give yourself naively without having your love constantly looking over its shoulder for the end. This all happened a long time ago, and I don't remember the words of Free Fallin' anymore. I'm kind of shit with melodies. I just know when the song comes on the radio, and maybe I'm sitting with my dog or watching the surf, the memories of that love come back, and I miss it. And in my mind, I'm driving through empty roundabouts the wrong way, and I'm launching myself into long days like I'm not tired. Like the first thing I see in a person isn't where the hurt will lie. Like love is as simple a thing as letting yourself fall.
That chokes me up every time I hear it. So
Thanks. Thank you.
I'm not gonna talk much. Tell me about your experience in Smoke Long Summer last year.
So I started writing Flash about a year before that. I'd watched the elements of Flash, which was very, very educational, and I really wanted to try it. And I thought I'd try Smoke Long Summer and just throw myself into it. And I wrote 20 pieces of Flash in that time period. It was just phenomenal. I loved it. I loved the experience. I made some good friends. I met some people, and I've had a few of those things published. It was an exceptionally good experience, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again this year.
Yeah, it's great seeing your name come up in publications, as it is with everyone. We are always thrilled. And remember, if you get something published that you started in a Smoke Long Summer, you need to go to our submittable page to the Smoke Long Workshop Prize and enter it. It costs nothing, and it's also a $500 prize. Okay, thank you, Glenn. Everyone Google Glenn Orgis. His story is amazing. Okay. Oh goodness, I keep pushing the wrong things. Our next reader is Frances Orrick. Frances Orrick works with people in crisis. Her first novel, currently out on Query, is a feminist animist fable set on the Scottish island of Orkney. It examines female friendship and connections with the land. She lives in France and with her young family and yearns for Atlantic edges. Hi, Frances.
Hi.
How are you today? It's
Good.
middle of the day for you. Okay, yeah. So this story is about mothers?
Yeah. About mothers.
Yeah, exactly. About the difficulty of being a mother, right? Am I safe in assuming that?
Yeah. About, I guess, how all the emotions don't necessarily have words, but we just call it all. We're just so glad to be
exactly.
a mother.
And it works so well. Okay, take it away.
Cool. And so we shall only be glad. I am glad my daughters see me cry and launch themselves against the bathroom door. They bang and shout things like they want to see me home or something I can't quite hear. And I do falter for a minute. Am I being fair? Do they have a point? In my culture, if we make it to the bathroom alone, alive, we are just glad, too glad, that for a second we are not out there amidst the clamour. My culture is not their culture. I'm not trying to hurry them toward mine or teach them that mine is better. I'm not even pretending that it's great to be here among the grown and glad and lonely. I will simply try to show them in an honest, smiling way that I am now able to lock the bathroom door between us and feel only gladness. I am glad that my daughters see me cry and hurl small spears into their father's heart, which they stand outside with me and bang and shout things like we want to see him smile or something equally chilling. And then he doesn't falter, he is gone, and we are all glad. And now I am gladly on the kitchen floor, and my daughter, who's not a baby, tall enough to reach the handle of the fridge, asks me, do I want milk? Because that's just what I'd ask her if she was lying down, looking so very glad about life in general. I have no shame, only gladness. So I say yes and watch as she leans all her weight backwards into her soft heels on the stone floor, hanging from that handle, both hands, until something pops, and I look on with some curiosity, because I also have no backbone and can barely sit at the best of times. And thank God it's the magnetic seal and not her shoulders or a tiny hernia. Somehow she has kept her balance, and now she reaches her whole arm in, standing on one tiptoe just like I do every day, keeping her crawling baby sister's face back with the marvel of one pink soul, then brings me the bottle, which is white and cool. And if I sit up, I can just about reach a glass from the side, which I can see was used for beer last night. The dried up foam, like some beautiful tidal scum, is nothing to me, because I'm trying to show them that I would never drink straight from the bottle, however glad I get. I cannot drive in this country without feeling as though I will kill at least us, if not vital others. I could even mow down their father on his bicycle, and so I watch the road I do, and while I do, I try to regulate this feeling of high gladness which throws me off all over again. At the train crossing, I push my seat all the way forward so that my ribs touch the steering wheel, and I can't breathe or bend my knees any higher, or my ankles flex all wrong on the pedals I am trying not to press, and steering has almost nothing to do with elbows which no longer work as wings. It is driving on this side of the road that dismantles me, sparks my gladness all over again with wrong way roundabouts. Lights and horns trail behind me like one long electric tail of gladness, and these cars will never understand me, so I smile in the mirror at my older daughter, who is 3, and very kind, and I'm glad it's a dishonest smile, because now she knows that this is not my culture. She tells me she prefers it when I drive, because she gets more legroom. And although that is a code to let me know she knows what's going on with all my wings and gladness, it is also true.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Frances, for reading that again. I could listen to that a million times and find something beautiful and wonderful that I somehow missed on a previous reading. Thank you so much. What was your experience last year in A Smoke Long Summer?
It was great. It was the first time that I'd written short stories, like fiction. I'd done kind of essays and a novel before, but I needed to distract myself from the fact that I'd finished my novel. I didn't really know what to do with it, and needed to keep writing, but had just hit I don't know what. So it was amazing to have these prompts every week and to write in community and to have other people all experimenting. It was great. And yeah, just like Glenn, I created a lot, and slowly but surely a lot of those pieces are being welcomed by journals and things, and it's cool.
Excellent. And that's what we love to hear. How was it keeping up with the pace?
Yeah, it was challenging at times, but I remember it almost became a bit like it was a challenge. It was cool. And it was a bit of addictive. And I remember on holiday, like sometimes just like everyone else would go to bed and I'd just have that last midnight hour of like, I'm just gonna read through, I'm just gonna put some feedback up there. And
Yeah.
I learned so much. Just so much.
And giving feedback is a learning process. I can't stress that enough, that when you give someone feedback, you're teaching yourself something. It's so valuable. And that's why workshopping works. in my opinion. Okay, so thank you so much, Frances.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so get back to your parents. Okay, so yeah. Okay, and so our next reader is Dawn Miller. Okay, one of our fellows, and we can't thank Dawn enough for the work she's doing for Smoke Long. Dawn is a 2024 recipient of the Smoke Long Quarterly Fellowship for Emerging Writers and the winner of the 2024 Toronto Star Short Story Contest. Her work appears in the Cincinnati Review, the Forge Literary Magazine, Smoke Long Quarterly, Fractured Lit, Vestal Review, Atticus Review, and elsewhere. She lives and writes in Picton, Ontario, Canada, with her writing helper, Maisie, the Golden Doodle. Oh my God, have we ever not seen Maisie?
No, she's cloistered away right now with my son. She's too crazy. She's crazy, Maisie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll have to bring her on sometime, but she would just be
sometime, because remember, dogs and partners and children are welcome. These are very informal events, and so yes, you can. I keep threatening to drag Video Guy into the view of the camera. I think 2 or 3 people have seen Video Guy before, but okay. Dawn, what are you going to read for us?
I'm going to read a piece called "How Not to Store Your Sister's Wig."
Okay, great.
Number 1, wash the wig. Use the special shampoo your mom bought at Kmart after your sister's red hair fell out. And you wanted to be brave enough to shave your own shoulder-length hair, but chickened out. Number 2, scratch number 1. Number 1, comb and detangle the strands. Comb the ends first and work your way up to the roots. This will keep the wig from shedding, leaving red strands on the carpet or under the sink, where you'll find them weeks later after the funeral. Number 2, tuck your hair behind your ears and wear the wig so you can see your sister reflected in the bathroom mirror. Do this when mom is back in bed, curtains drawn tight, and dad is on an extended business trip again, because somebody has to pay the bills, and he can breathe when he's away from the house and the sight of the rubber ball with your sister's name written on it in marker, her bike, her books, her pink runners by the front door. Number 3, check and double check the bathroom door is locked before completing number 2. Number 4, return the wig to the styrofoam stand on her dresser, the light bulb in her bedroom unscrewed because mom loosened all of them in the house. And at night you eat shake and bake chicken in the dark like strangers, because no one can stand the brightness, the glare, the sense that everything's gone back to normal. Number 5, sometimes slip the styrofoam stand with the wig under the quilt on your sister's bed, so it looks like she's in bed, dreaming. Read her story, read her your diary. Tell her everything will be all right. Number 6, check the wig for her scent. The fine strands, real hair, not fake, even though it cost mom and dad a ton. A bouquet of grade 3 life, wax crayons, raspberry hubba bubba, and peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Test for the scent she had when you slept in a pup tent in the backyard, knees and elbows knocking together as you giggled until dad shouted, "Quiet down or you'll sleep inside." Caution. Wait until you can't detect any of these smells before washing. Wait months. Wait years.
Thank you so much. A very good example of an imperative mood story. Thank you so much, Dawn. Wonderful. Always to hear you read. So Dawn, what's your experience in Smoke Long Summer been?
Oh, wonderful. I think I started in 2022. And I really feel it's been transformative to my writing. And what I've learned in the craft has spilled over to my short stories and my novel writing. And I think another thing that's really wonderful about the group is just making connections and meeting other people. I've made amazing writer friends that I really think are going to be lifelong friends. They are lifelong friends. It's a gift.
Yeah. So Dawn, we've had like I don't know, a surge of Canadian writers from Ontario and in the surrounds. Have you been telling people about Smokelong?
All the time, anytime I can.
Okay. Every time I see somebody from that
Saying,
area,
you must
like,
do this.
is Dawn going out door to door? I don't know. Okay, no. That's all right. Okay, thank you so much, Dawn. Always great
Thanks.
to hear you read. And we'll talk about the fellowship more later if we have time. Okay, so, but our next reader is Christopher Sant'Antasio. Christopher Sant'Antasio's fiction and essays can be found in The Pinch, One Story, wow, Smoke On Quarterly, Hayden's Ferry Review, Diagram, and elsewhere. He is a fiction editor at The Rumpus and was named a finalist for the 2020 Janus Prize and the Adroit Journal's 2024 Anthony Vesna So Scholarship. Originally from the Hudson Valley, he lives in the San Francisco Bay Area with his partner and is working on a novel. New work is forthcoming in Story magazine. Hi, Chris. How are you today?
Hi, Chris. I'm great. How are you?
Wow, it must be like 4 o'clock in the morning there for you.
Yeah, it's quite early, so if my voice is a little rough, it's that's because I roll out of bed.
My voice is rough. I don't know what's going on today, but uh, it's like 8:30 here. Okay, so you're going to read Ponytail, right?
That's right.
Okay, good. Take it away.
Ponytail. You remember when Dad shaved his mustache, how thin his lips were? In art class, every paper plate waited for a face, for markers, for yarn, for pipe cleaner eyebrows. How your teacher wouldn't let you pick someone else's face for the project because it was supposed to be for Father's Day, and how you refused to put anything on your father plate but 2 X's where the eyes should go. And how about a few years later, when Dad came home with reddened eyes and a choke in his voice, saying, "I think I have cancer." How he showed you the small bulges on the inside of his arms, how you cried too and said you didn't want him to die, not when he was being so sweet, not when he was putting his full, soft weight on your shoulders and letting you skip karate that day. How the doctor took one look at his elbows and said it was nothing. Tumors don't grow symmetrically like that, the doctor said. And how Dad never mentioned it again. Never thanked you for holding him, for not teasing him for his tears, for being the only one he could cry to. Or maybe you remember when he grew a ponytail and cut it off and put it in a freezer bag. How you knew right then that he'd never throw it out. How it would go in the closet with the baseball bat you could never hold right, and the dried out corsage he got you for the girl you didn't actually take to prom, and the ring he bought for the woman he was engaged to when he met your mom and got her pregnant with you. Remember how he'd break out the ponytail on Christmas every few years and show it off like it was really something he was proud of, a thing made of his own flesh and blood. How each year it seemed to grow longer and darker and shinier as his own hair thinned and grayed. How it was held together by a red rubber band. How he'd take it out of the bag and almost cradle it like a living thing, against his chest, neck bent, his bare lips parting.
Wow, I love this story. Such a complex and compelling depiction of a father from the point of view of a son in the second person. So there's lots going on, lots of layers going on there, and every time I hear it, I love it. So what was your experience with Smoke Long Summer last year?
It was wonderful. I wrote a lot. I don't usually give myself a chance to play in the sandbox and try out different techniques and different starting points for a story. I'd never written something in second person before, and I did that because there was some just opportunities to experiment. So it was a really positive experience.
Yeah, I love that idea of just give yourself permission to experiment. I'm saying we're all here workshopping together, rooting for one another. And it's like if you upload an experiment, just say, hey guys, it's an experiment. Tell me where it's going. So we're going to talk more later after our second round of readers about how to give feedback, how to workshop in a smoke long summer. And so we're going to talk more about this in just a few minutes. But right now, thank you, Chris. Readers from last year, finalists, winners from the competitions last year. We do a fiction competition and a nonfiction competition. This year, we're really focusing a lot on nonfiction. The July readers reading group is going to be the Rose Medal Press Field Guide to Writing Flash Nonfiction, and Denty Moore is going to come and speak to us about that. So here we go. Our second round of readers is starting off with Annie Banerjee. Annie Banerjee's writing has been molded in Smoke Long workshops since 2022, and she writes in Houston, Texas, via Kolkata, India. Her flash fiction has been published or forthcoming in Lost Balloon, 5 on the 5th, McQueen's Quinterly, Janus Literary, Dribble Drabble Magazine, and others. Find her work at www.anniebanerjee.com. Hi, Annie, how are you?
Sorry. Good, good, good. As you know, I just got up.
It's not that early in Houston, is it?
8:30 on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. And? No, I'm joking. Okay, Annie, what are you going to read?
I'll read this piece called 1 Hour. It's not CNF. It's not, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
It's just kind of a factual writing, if that's because this is like this happens all the time in the southern border of the United States. So, and it's called 1 Hour. The time it took for Customs and Border Patrol CBP in Brownsville to notice and rescue the young man Jose Martinez holding on to the base of a sable palm half submerged in the Rio Grande with a crocodile keeping a half-closed eye on him. The CBP personnel followed the eyes of the alligator on their camera and finally saw the man. The time it took for Jose to explain to the CBP how he got there. He was crossing alone, he said, because if he divulged the names of the coyote, his mother would be killed. He was crossing the river, but his feet slipped on a slippery rock, and he got carried down the river until he found a tree stump and held on to it, but he was not able to climb up the slippery mud. He had watched the crocodile and the silver of the moon and chanted Hail Marys, because if the moon crossed over to the daylight, the crocodile would eat him. The time it took for the gang to kill his older brother, Juan. Juan, who was with his friends at the park, they dragged him and shot him. Juan, 13, had refused to join the gang. Jose had placed a red rose on him as they buried him. Now it was Jose's turn. The gang had told him join or else. The time it took for the gang to kill his older brother Juan, who was with his friends at the park, they dragged him and shot him. Juan, 13, had refused to join the gang. Jose had placed a red rose on him as they buried him. Now it was Jose's turn. The gang had told him join or else. The time it took for his mom to bargain the coyote for the price of travel from $6,000 to $3,000. $3,000, the price of freedom and happiness, the price of Jose. The time it took for his mother to say goodbye to him, packing his favorite lunch of chicken and rice. Study hard, be respectful to your aunt, go to church, earn. His mother gave him a list of tasks. The time it took for the coyote to explain the rules, they are not responsible for food and water. They would reach Rio Grande at night. It will be slippery. It will be dangerous. If they get caught, never to name anyone or else. The time it took on the bus from his hometown to Matamoros. The dust rose on the side of the bus and entered through the open window, ruffling Jose's hair. The time it took to travel in Matamoros after getting down from the bus to reach the river. The tacos in the shanty with just onions and potatoes and were spiced with too much chili. Jose's throat hurt, but he did not have the money to buy cerveza. So the time it took for the CBP to decide that he did not have credible fear. He described Juan's death, but they wanted proof. Jose had no proof, but just the memory of that rose on Juan's chest.
I mean, I love this story. I think it's such a great use of the title, 1 hour. And everything else is descriptive of that title. Is such a great use of that title, and relevant, so relevant. And I think this is something that we always need to keep in mind, that that the most powerful things that we can do is to write about something that is relevant, especially to me. Thank you so much, Annie. So what was your experience in A Smoke Long Summer last year?
Oh, I wouldn't be anywhere as a writer if it wasn't for Smoke Long. I've done the summers. I started writing in Smoke Long Summer 2022, and then 2023. I'm 2 years old now as a writer, and yeah, I love it. I wouldn't, my whole writing life is Smoke Long, so I wouldn't be here.
Okay, and everyone, it is not a cult. It is not a cult.
Not a cult.
Not a cult. Annie, we love you. Thank you so much, Annie.
Thank you.
Yeah, such a memorable story. Okay, our next reader is Timothy Boudreau. Timothy Boudreau lives and works in northern New Hampshire. His collection, Saturday Night and Other Short Stories, is available through Hobblebash Books. His recent work has been nominated for Best of the Net, Best Microfiction, and a Pushcart Prize. He is a fiction editor at The Loveliest Review with Exodus. Find him on Twitter at TC Boudreau or at timothyboudreau.com. Hey, Tim, how are you?
Good morning. Great. Glad to be here.
Okay. How early is it for you?
Oh, it's coming up on 10 o'clock, so not bad at all.
Not early at all. Okay.
I'm just going to forewarn everyone that my wife's making breakfast downstairs, so the aroma's wafting up. So if I lose focus, that's probably why.
You pass out, right? Okay. What's she cooking?
I don't know, but there's onions involved. So
Okay. Right. All right. Sounds good. Okay. So now the story that you're going to read is quite challenging. Everyone pay attention, okay? Because it's quite fragmented. And in my view, it's a great example of surrealism in Flash. And so take it away. Anxiety Dreams, right?
yes, anxiety. Thank you. An insectoid girl, beach mode, tank top, white shoulders, sloping belly, slopping in flip-flops. Insectoid as in oversized compound eyes, as invisible exoskeleton. Hey ya, how you doing? I saw you last year, right? How's your wife? How you been? Insectoid as in scratching her side with her long leg-like appendage, as in burbling contented noises as she scratches and swivels her eyes, a low-level buzz. Your friend B went on extended brown rice fasts. After 2 or 3 weeks, his face firmed and glowed. He rarely accepted visitors during those stages, couldn't entertain in that pure state. He read philosophy, theories of afterlife, energy absorbed into the universe's mists. For years, he dreamt of a final stage in which he vanquished all personal cravings, in which he shared his living space with books, spider plants, and angel wing begonias, in which he was sustained by glasses of water, fresh mere air. Last year, B died of cancer in an agony of want, unable to eat or digest. His brother H moved in, carried B bodily, had to position his wasted legs on the commode. B's last words were wrung heart cries for more. Please, I want morphine. Sleep with no dreams, violet shades, spent blossoms floating on a black pool. At your grandfather's in sleeping bags on the spare bedroom floor. Hear his call from the kitchen, the rats are back. Feel something brushed underneath, spike it with a sewing needle. Follow it into the hall, sop up the blood with rags. In the morning, remember, he never told your father he loved him. Teased him with earwigs he found in the woodpile. Hit him across the backside with a 2x4. A faraway trip, Central America, flowers like on Washington streets, sunny yellow pansies like moms. A buffet table with heaps of giant alive shrimp, slithering colorful eels, long beetles with striped shells. Make your plate, and by the time you sit, everything has scurried away onto the floor. Before he was married, your friend's former boss, Hugo, was a monster on the dating scene. Your friend says, but he wasn't attractive at all. So how did he have the confidence? It's not courage, it's hunger. The blood, the squirming eels, hunger, loneliness, our task, thread the cravings together. Sure, you rarely call, but your mother also knows how to work a phone, doesn't she? Yet she would rather sit, welled up with tears, waiting. All your numbers saved in her contacts. She will literally let herself perish, leave this mortal coil, bones and flesh turned to dust, with her phone beside her on the counter and never once call. Just so the first thing she can say when she arrives at the pearly gates is, I died of sadness. My kids never called. Table discussion with the family. Your poem's not going to be famous. Sure, but whose is? Scribble a poem with a dull pencil on old company stationery, but the words fade from the page. The perfect final line you can't write with this implement on this paper, but hope you won't forget when you wake up. No one ever liked you. Your face crumbles and peels off like a snake's, falls into the sink beside a green-blue puddle of spat-out toothpaste. Help your dead grandfather sort through the items on his desk. Receipts, a 1982 Hunter's Digest, 1969's Farmer's Almanac, blizzards of paper. These are interesting, he says, don't you think? His eyebrows arch like a cockroach's. At the bottom of the pile, a funeral program with your picture and the date of your death, July 16th, 2039. Thank you.
Yeah, anxiety dreams. And it warrants several readings. And you'll see what I mean if you go back to our lesson on surrealism and what surrealism really is. You'll see that there are so many components of surrealism in this piece, and we actually used it in that lesson to demonstrate all of them. So even if you didn't know this, Timothy, or you didn't intend it, it is an excellent example of what real surrealism is in literature. Okay, yeah. And what was your experience in Smoke Long Summer last year?
Oh, loved it. Had a great time. The feedback again was great, both my giving it and then the feedback that I received. There was always something, some little nugget, some little piece of wisdom that I didn't think of, and that my fellow writers picked up. So that was great. The community, again, just making contacts, creating those friendships, huge. Just both with my work and personally too. So a lot of positive stuff there.
Yeah, the community. And that's what we hope to build and build and build and build at Smoke Long. So yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that, Tim.
Absolutely.
Next reader is Catherine Aldridge Morris. Is a writer from Bristol. And I'm assume we'll be seeing each other next month. Her work appears in Wigleaf Top 50, Pithead Chapel, New Flash Fiction Review, Flash Frog, Bending Genres, South Florida Poetry Journal, and or SoFlo Pojo and other great places. You can read her flash narratives at www.camwords with a K. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
And we will see each other next month.
For sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're talking
absolutely.
about the Flash Fiction Festival in the UK. So I hope if you're in the UK or if you will be traveling to the UK that you'll stop by and sing karaoke with us until 3 o'clock in the morning. So Catherine, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. So this is Significant Other, and it was a finalist in the fiction list. Significant Other. Frank's no good at friends. He knows that. But he did have a befriender, Shona, for 3 months until the housing association sold up and he was moved 4 miles to a flat in Fulham. Shona said that was out of her area. Promised befrienders galore in his new place. Spoilt for choice, she said. Frank's never been spoilt in his life, unless you call compensation for care failings spoilt. This was no different. He was shoveled to the bottom of the waiting list. This leaflet they gave him. Don't squander chances for connection, it says. A simple hello at the bus stop is good for your well-being, it says. He could punch the wall, but he doesn't. He goes to a free music festival, trying. Everyone else in a family or with a significant other, chatting, sharing chips. Then he sees her pushing through the crowd, some kind of flower crown on her head. Shona. And he tells himself, don't do anything stupid, Frank. Tells himself, it's not her fault she ruined your life and you ain't spoke to no one in weeks and the kids at 88 sprayed prick over your front door. Not her fault you spaff every morning on hold for the doctor, then housing, the piped music like a bleed on the brain. Not her fault foster dad 4 pressed a hot kettle on your back when all you did was ask, why wasn't he at sports day? The one time you won shot put, the one time you won anything, and he said his allowance didn't cover overtime. Not her fault loneliness kills more people than cigarettes. Shona links arms with the bloke at her side. A friend, then, not some befriended with boundaries. They're talking up close. What's he saying that's so funny? Nothing's that fucking funny. Her breasts look bigger in that t-shirt, and this ain't right. She should be with him. This festival is in his area. She's in his area. Later, he'll swear he wasn't holding anything. Where would he have found a brick at a music festival? She sees him. Frank, she calls. Waves. The guy she's with looks at him. It's the way he looked, Frank will say, under the flickering tick of the fluorescent tube. Barbed wire outside looped like practice handwriting. It was the way he looked at him.
I was going to say, I think we've all felt like Frank before, but maybe not. I don't know, but I think I have. Okay, all right. Catherine, what was your experience last year in a Smoke Long Summer?
It was life-changing.
Oh no!
That's an
really? I'm sorry. That was a joke. That was kind of, I think, a joke because anyway, go ahead.
We were primed to say that.
Right.
It was great. It was kind of anchoring. I hadn't done a lot. It's quite hard in the summer to write because it's school holidays and we're traveling. But it was great to have that base to always come back to. And by the end, I was feeling quite guilty that I hadn't participated as much as I had. So I just thought, I'm going to pull it out of the bag. I'm going to write 1 fiction, 1 non-fiction. And using the prompts and the fantastic webinars. And yeah, my non-fiction won the Forge Prize. And Significant Other was a finalist and got published in Fictive Dreams. So I would say I got my bang for my buck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, let me stress, if you get something published that you began in the workshop, go to our submittable page and enter the Smoke Long Workshop Prize, and it's free, of course. And you are also shortlisted in the Quantum Shorts
Oh
competition.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was one of the top 10 finalists.
Yeah.
God, this is a bragathon, isn't it?
Now, I mentioned it. I
I'm just
mentioned
trying to
it.
big up your summer here.
Sure, I mentioned it. I mentioned it. Thank you so much for reading, Catherine. Okay.
Thanks,
And
Christopher.
our last reader is Lindsay Farr. Lindsay Farr lives outside of Asheville, North Carolina, almost in Tennessee. Her work has appeared in X-Ray, Ghost Parachute, Longleaf, and elsewhere. Follow her on Instagram at Lindsay with an E, Lindsay, underline A, underline Farr, Pharr. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
Yeah, there you
Unmuting myself.
are.
Okay, here I am. Hi.
Hey.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna read.
Yeah, you're reading actually we have to say that Frances Orr her piece won and the fiction, and Lindsay last year won the nonfiction. It's such a memorable piece, Fistful of Blue. Fistful of Blue.
Fistful of
Uh,
Blue.
right. And if you've ever been to a poetry reading, you'll understand why the whole bottle of wine was necessary, right? Right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we'll talk about other things in just a second, Lindsay, but go ahead, read us Fistful of Blue.
I wish you were here, so I asked for 2 glasses to go with the bottle of wine and set the spare in the grass beside me. Later, I'll pretend I got stood up, but who am I kidding? I bought the whole bottle for myself because they don't sell it by the glass here in this quaint backyard garden behind the florists, where I know no one and feel awkward as hell. I wish you were here, but you say you hate poetry, by which you mean you love it so much that every poem you write falls short of your unattainable ideal. I wish you were here because this awkwardness is the fog settling on everything so thick that I can't tell where it's coming from. Is it coming off me like heat waves, like sex fog, like fear? Or maybe it's a collective transpiration, a greenhouse effect of socially anxious people breathing in beauty and breathing out adrenaline-scented halitosis. Either way, I wish you were here because it's a beautiful June evening and the sky is lilac and coral and I am dressed nice, but not too nice, with my hair pinned and my shirt sleeves rolled up like a rumpled intellectual. And the whole effect is wasted on these people with their ironically awful haircuts and ill-fitting mom jeans, with their pristine work boots and canvas tote bags. I know you love it when I'm petty. I wish you were here because this poetry is bad. Bad as in read off an iPhone. Bad as in delivered in a monotone. Bad as in this person witnessed something beautiful and decided to stab it in the heart and pin it into a poem. Bad as in each poem is followed by saying, that's it. And I'm sorry, but ending a reading like that is like asking me if I came. A climax should be obvious and ringing in your bones. If it isn't, you need more practice, just not on me. I make sure I sip my wine carefully, not rattling the ice cubes, because more than once now someone has looked at me for doing so, and I tilt my head back to watch the swifts twitter and wheel. Do you remember climbing to that rooftop downtown to watch the swifts spiral homeward to their roosts while the juice from bloody rare burgers dripped down our chins back before we ever hurt each other? I watch a crow couple hop from branch to branch in a mulberry tree over the poets' heads. They swipe their glossy beaks on the tree's bark, ruffle out their oil-slick necks and preen, and I pray for the poems to get better. They don't. I walk back to my truck during intermission. There it is in the mulch, an explosion of bottle blue. Blue jay feathers like shards of fallen sky, a whole handful of them scattered from a fight or a brush with death's silent paws. I pick them up and zip back together their barbules, stroking and the black and blue bars, these bold things. I am bent over a flower bed, whispering and fervent. Blessed be the corvidae, for they give no fucks. Blessed be the ravens, rooks, magpies, jackdaws, jays, treepies, chews, and nutcrackers, the boldest brass badasses. Blessed be about queer sex. Fingers begin to tighten around kombucha bottles, and Birkenstock toes start squirming in the clover. The fog thickens, and I am baring my teeth in a snarl of joy at her chanted, "I know, baby," and her bend me like a, I wish you were here, because I can feel something flicker in a long dead place, and it doesn't scare me. And I don't think you'll ever get to see me be this brave, because it only happens when I'm alone. I wish you were here, because this messy poetry feels as true as a tipsy fuck, and it might meet your unattainable ideal, even if I never will. The poet's voice rises, and I can feel the quills pierce my palm where I'm gripping them so tight I draw my own blood, and then it's over. And I'm clapping too loudly, my bones ringing like a bell, and I can feel eyes pivot onto me and away. The red-haired poet replaces the mic, all swagger spent. The crowd rises and mills. I cork my bottle and mouth, "They couldn't make it," at the girl who sold it to me as I see myself out, flushed and swinging my fistful of blue.
Yeah. Every time I hear this, it's just, I'm rapt. Thank you so much for reading that again for us, Lindsay. Now your life is changing, right? Tell us what's going on with you.
With me, I just graduated from my MFA program last night. Thank you. I've been writing a lot of longer essays. That's been really interesting and stretching some new muscles.
Excellent. Can't wait to read them. I'm sure we'll see them. So what was the experience for you in Smoke Long Summer last year?
Oh, it was fabulous. The feedback, especially giving and receiving that feedback, I learned so much. Like the prompts are wonderful, generating the writing is wonderful, but learning how to read and be read and communicate in that way was phenomenal for me.
How does it compare with your MFA?
I honestly, and I got more out of my workshopping in Smoke Long Summer than I did in my workshopping in my MFA program.
I did not pay her to say that. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so anyone who's been in a master's program, I don't know. There's sometimes this feeling of like competition amongst people. Did you have that same feeling in your MFA?
I think part of what made the feedback and the experience at Smoke Long is part of it is the nature of Flash. I feel like there's so much more going on in Flash that is possible.
Interesting comment, because it's so constrained and limited in some ways, but that opens up so many other possibilities to experiment. All right. Thank you so much, Lindsay. And always great to hear you read. Now, we are going to talk a bit, very, very briefly about the expectations for the workshop first. And then we're going to give away 5 prizes. We're giving away stuff, and it was Video Guy's idea. So if he gets mad that we don't have any money at the end, it's his fault. Expectations for this workshop. We're going to have 3 writing tasks each week provided by a senior editor of Smoke Long. And we're going with the concept of 3s this time. And so each editor has chosen some wild thing. For example, Mike Shinijevsky has chosen sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And so we're doing all sorts of, everything comes in 3s, and blood, sweat, and tears. So the prompts are all going to be based on those. Now, Um, uh, the pace of A Smoke Long Summer is sometimes grueling, wonderful. But remember, these tasks are meant for inspiration, not stress. Although a bit of stress is good, a bit of waking up on a Monday morning and thinking, okay, this is my task. I need to write something. And then Wednesday, this is my task. I need to write something. And then get in that small group and give people feedback. Check in lots, and start a conversation about where these drafts can go. Ask a lot of questions. Don't bring all of your preconceptions to the table. Be open and think about, where can this draft go? It's like you're helping everyone to be their best writer. Okay, so giving feedback is just as important as getting feedback. Okay, so write what inspires you, write what you're passionate about, and most important, have fun. The word limit for Smoke Long workshops in general is 800 words, but feel free to go small, go short. We are now going to give away prizes. And the first prize is any book from the book fair. So with this prize, you're going to just browse the book fair and tell me which book you want. Now, you don't have to be present at the online events, because we understand some people on the planet are asleep right now. So we have 221 participants in A Smoke Long Summer. And so our perfect stranger, our perfectly objective stranger, is going to choose a number between 3, because on my spreadsheet, 1 and 2, there's nothing there. Okay, so 3 and 221.
Between 3 and 221.
First number is 5.
Oh, wow, that's an easy number to find. Just a moment. The number 5 is, it's someone on staff at Smoke Long. And so that's perfectly fine. And it's Lizzie Bakewell in Down Under in Australia. And so we'll be letting Lizzie know that she has won a book from the book fair, which will probably need to be from Night Parrot Press in in Australia, because we don't want to pay $4,000 for the shipping. Okay, so our next prize is senior editor feedback from one. It's about a $40 value, and so number between 3 and 221.
117.
117. Gosh, I hope I don't do this. Okay, just 117. Perfect. 117. Okay. So this prize goes to Pega. You already get feedback. But wait, Pega, you don't get senior you don't get the senior editor feedback. You get the other one. So it is Pega Ouija. So Pega is here. So congratulations, Pega. So I'll be sending you that link for senior editor feedback. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So the next one is a copy of Flash Fiction America. And this book is also in the book fair from Norton. W.W. Norton is also in the book fair, and they're offering a copy of lots of seminal anthologies for Flash. Okay, so a number between 3 and 221.
201.
201. Okay, wow. That's going to be on this. Yeah, here we go. 201. Is Jennifer Lai here? Okay. Jennifer Lai will be receiving a copy of Flash Fiction America, and I'll tell her about that when we see her in the workshop. Okay, so the next prize is 25% off anything in the Smoke Long shop. 25% off. So a number between and 221.
I'm going to go for my age, 46.
You don't look a day over 30. Okay, 46. I was going to say I'm a Schmeichler, and that's German for I'm a flatterer. Okay, so 46. Here we go. 46. Elizabeth Burton. Is Elizabeth Burton here? I saw Elizabeth Rosen. I didn't see Elizabeth Burton. Okay, but Elizabeth Burton will be getting 25% off anything in the shop. No, she's at a conference today. Okay. Oh yeah, she said she's going to the
Good. No.
Carroll House conference, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. And so this last one is a free year of Smoke Long Fitness. Yeah. And so we're giving away a few of these. And so a free year of Smoke Long Fitness. And so if you're already in Smoke Long Fitness, it'll be tacked on to what you already have. Give us a number between 3 and 251.
The number is 155.
155. Here we go. We need a drum roll. 155. This is, oh wow, this is a new member. Wait a minute. Okay. I haven't seen Anne Yuan. Anne Yuan. Is Anne here? Okay, so Anne will be receiving a year of fitness, and so remember, you don't have to be here to win, because I think that would be strange to get everyone up in the middle of the night. But we will be giving away a few prizes each time we meet for an open mic, and of course, the people who have already won will be crossed off the big list, I guess, if you've won a year of Smoke Long Fitness. Remember that time, who was the person at the UK Flash Fiction Festival who won every single prize? Alva, what was her name?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, she was mortified. She was mortified. Every time they called a number, she was like...
She was practically hiding under the table at the end. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Just want to say Jonathan for doing the numbers for us, because he's also supervising. I can't show you because it's safeguarding. He's supervising a field full of small children doing things like tightrope walking and stilts and all kinds of things. So it's really kind.
Now, are you teaching them to juggle?
No problem. All right, see you later. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Thank you so much, Helen. And now get on with your day. Have a great time. And I hope that the weather holds and that it does not rain upon your head. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We are starting this thing. The first writing task goes live on Monday. The virtual book fair is going live today as soon as I have breakfast with my parents. So everything is starting up. If you have any questions about how this is going to go, just reach out to us on the site to the Smoke Long Editors account and say, hey, how do I do this? And we'll help you. Okay. So everyone, I will see you in the workshop. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you to the readers today. It was amazing. Bye-bye, everybody.